Kane. I'm one of your licensed practitioners here. I will be doing a self-guided meditation on perfect health. At this time, I ask if you have your cell phones, if you can please place them either in airplane mode or silent. And you can close your eyes if you feel so need to do so. Taking a deep, centering breath in, breathing in the health of the heart, and breathing out any disease or discord that you might have. Let God flow through every cell in your body. Allow God to rejuvenate you.
Electrify your energy with God. Know that you are perfect health. No matter what you've been told, you are perfect health. For you are the divine emanation of God. And I am what God is. And God is perfect health. And if I am perfect health, we all are perfect health. For we all are God. Visualize that perfect health. Perfect eyes, perfect nose, perfect teeth, perfect knees, perfect hips, perfect feet, perfect heart. For your heart is your connection to God. Just enjoy spirit running through your body. Allow spirit to run fast, vibrant. You are one with perfect health. imagine the joy of perfect health, running like you've never ran before. Moving from tree to tree, climbing, doing things you never thought you would do. Enjoy the feeling of perfect health. Claim it. Know that it is yours. Walk together with the divine. And as you walk with the divine, your walk will be stronger. For you are perfect health. There is no disease in our bodies. For we have transferred over to God consciousness. And being one with Spirit is pure perfection. We know that we are that true. For we know that anything other than perfect health is just a negative thought. And we can change our thoughts. We are changing our thoughts right now, knowing the truth. Feel it. Believe it. Know it. Demand it in your life, right here, right now. Know that you are worth all that God has to offer. Make the shift. Close the door behind you that denied you. Replace those thoughts with only thoughts of the divine. Open your arms and spin around. Just enjoying the knowing. call the divine into your life. Radiate. Spirit is pushing through me right now. It's going faster and faster. Faster, electrifying every single cell in your body. Healing you of doubt, replacing it with faith. Healing you of shame, replacing it with joy. Healing you of judgment, replacing it with love. Feel it. Commit to the Spirit running through your body. Take a deep breath in. We know that we are one with this divine. There's no need to question it. Just know it. And from knowing it and accepting it, your life will remain perfect health. It is not for us to judge what perfect health should look like. It is just for us to know that we are perfect health. We have walked through the light. We have grabbed the hand of the divine. We have closed the door behind us. We have accepted the truth. We are grounded in the truth. And now our walk looks different. We stand taller. Our shoulders are broader. Our smile is larger. Our life is just filled with joy. For God has rejuvenated us. And so we have come to realize that So I just want to thank you all for taking this journey with me. And I hope you all have taken the hand of the divine and continue in perfect health. Namaste.
And welcome to live streaming and live service from the Ahiah Center for Spiritual Living in beautiful downtown Pasadena, California, USA. We're in the Theater District, and we are live and in person. Yes? Yes, indeed. I'm Reverend Michael Bernard Lattimore, your assistant minister, your guide on the side this morning, and I am honored to be your facilitator, introducing to you our theme this month, which is Pause for Guidance. You can think of that as pause for the pause. Yes, pause for guidance. And today, the wisdom topic delivered by Senior Minister Reverend Scott Olson is sparking imagination.
I like that. I like that. As opposed to triggering imagination. We'll talk a little bit about that this morning. And surprise, surprise, our musical inspiration today is Brother Clark Long back in the house. Indeed, indeed. He'll be accompanied by our Sunday band. We've got Leon Johnson on the bass, Brian on percussion, and I said, is it Mahesh? Oh, Mahesh, tickling the keyboard. Oh boy, oh boy. If you go on YouTube and you Google Mahesh and Darren Dean, you will see a jam session that's just out of this world. It is amazing. Mahesh has been hiding, because you know he's very reserved on Sundays. He plays very calm, but I'm telling you, he is blasting to the moon. So Mahesh is our keyboard player today. We're going to give him some love as well. And just a reminder that today after service, what o'clock is it?
Yeah,
12 o'clock. 12 o'clock is the community meeting. So just check in and see what's shaking. There's some really good stuff going on. We are excited to be opening the doors back up, and we've got a lot of plans and want to hear your imagination sparks at that community meeting. So make sure you check in with us and just come and hang out this afternoon. And with that, I want to make sure that I've got everything covered. Oh, our practitioner for today is Lake Payne. You may have gotten a sense of her prayerful consciousness with that meditation for healing the body temple this morning, which was just sublime. Yes, indeed. And so, with that, why don't we get God's party started? I can't wait to hear the music and to hear Reverend Scott's talk today. So with that, let's listen to a short visual meditation put together by Gabriel. And we'll do that. We'll come back. Lake will lead us in the invocation and an inspirational reading. And God's party is underway. Namaste, family.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. Oh, darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. If the sky we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. Oh, darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me.
So, you know what I just realized is we didn't turn the lights on here. A couple of they won't turn on. Oh, well, next time we'll figure that out. Good morning, everyone. Morning. It's so good to be here with you this morning. We're going to ask Lake Payne. She's going to come up and do reading and invocation for us. And, just
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be back and see all of your lovely faces. It's been a while, and we are so blessed to have such a beautiful church that allows us to social distance and come back in person as well as online. So just want to say hello to our friends as well that are viewing us online. Again, my name is Lake Payne. I'm one of the licensed practitioners here. And I'm going to start off with the benediction and then go into the reading. Sound like a plan for everyone? Yeah. Okay, great, fantastic. So if you feel moved to do so, just close your eyes. And we're just going to go to that place that we all know, the truth. The truth of one love, one thought, one mind, one God. Know that truth to be the truth of you. Know that truth to be a part of you. As I am a part of God, you are a part of God. And that spirit is constantly, always directing us. We are in control of our lives, our thoughts. But allow yourself to accept the guidance of God. And by knowing that truth, we know that we can spark our imagination. We know that we can be whatever we need to be. We know that we will be the joy of God, the health of God, the prosperity of God, the abundance of God. We know that that is our truth. We are not denying our truth of God. We accept it and claim it good. For I know that truth to be the truth of me, and it is the truth of you. We will have a blessed service, knowing that the words that we need to hear will be said. And we stand in gratitude, knowing that we are the I am of God. So with that, I release my word to the law, knowing that I stand confident in my words of God is all there is, and that I am one with God as you are one with God. So collectively we say, and so it is, amen and amen. So my reading today is from Living the Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes, which is where I get a lot of my readings from. If you don't have it, we have it in the bookstore. I don't know when we're opening back up the bookstore, but if you want it, we can probably bring it out for you guys. This is on page 130, and it's God, your impersonal self. I am that which I am. I am that which I am. I am the eternal presence of your own self. Thus, there is no mediator between you and myself but your own thought. This I am has been revealed to you in innumerable ways through the inspired writings of the ages. Each inspiration has been a proclamation that I am is in the midst of you. I am the writer, the inspirer, and the thing written about. I am the creator of history, the one who experiences it. I am its record and its interpretation. Everything which has transpired, has but symbolized my divine presence at the center of all. I am within you is the only presence there is. I create innumerable centers of my consciousness personified as people, yet I am is the thread of a unity running through all, binding all back to myself. Because I am a perfect oneness, all of me exists everywhere. Wherever you recognize me, there I am. And whether or not you recognize me, I am still there. This divine visitor, which is your true self, and which is that which I am, is both the one who stands at the door and knocks, and the one who opens the door. It is the glory of this recognition which has given to the enlightened true mastership. Do not look for masters outside of me, or mediators between yourself and myself. There is but one self who needs no mediator. This self is immediate, present, and available. Any thought or belief which would seek to separate that which I am or which you are would be an illusion, no matter how lofty its concept or how sacred its purpose. For it would seek to deny the ever-present I am, the completeness of my perfection, the God within you, the inspired thought back of your act. Your true self constitutes the only mediator between the invisible and the visible. I am that self. Be still and know that you are one with me, and my being in you is your life. It is also your body, mind, and spirit. Every cell of your body, every thought of your mind, the glory of your spirit, that which you have so ardently sought has never been separated from you for one moment. My desire within you to be expressed has been the motivating power, impelling and compelling your evermore to reach out, on and up. I am the Christ dwelling at the center of every soul, human, yet divine, infinite, yet flowing through that which is apparently infinite, unmanifest, yet forever manifesting, birthless and deathless, yet forever being born, timeless. I am forever creating time, and you, the expression of myself, appear to be separated from me merely because you are a unique manifestation of myself. For I am that which you are and which all people are. I am in all, and I am all. Thank you, and namaste.
So we are having a little bit of sound difficulty for the folks that are on home. Everybody here is hearing it just fine, but for those of you on home, I think we're ending up going through the microphone on the computer right now, so it might hear it sound a little echoey. I apologize for that. We're trying to figure that out. So in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to ask Clark to come on up. He's going to sing us a song.
Good morning. Good morning. Nice to be back. Seeing old faces and new faces. And I want to share a song with you that's very dear to me. Other times I ask God for an answer. This is Clark. You stand. I'll give you an answer. Not right now. I think we all go through that sometimes, don't we? God, give me the answer now. God said, I'm not ready. So I'm going to sing the song in reference to that, okay? Just let it be. Father God, it comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let my heart of darkness, Father God is standing in front of me. He said, son, I want to give an action, let it be. Oh, let it be, let it be, let it be. Oh, just let it be. I will give an answer. Oh, when my heart is broken and no one understands me. God said, I'll give an answer. Just let it be. Though we may not understand, there's gonna come a time when we all will know. I will give an answer. Oh, let it be. Oh, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be. I will give an answer. Oh, let it be. Oh, yeah. There's a light that will shine in me, that will shine forever. Let it be. I wake up in the morning, I hear that small sweet voice that says, son, I will give an answer right now. Just be still and let it be. Oh, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be. I will give an answer. Let it be. Oh, let it be. Let it be. I will give an answer. Let it be.
So it is. Thank you, Clark. Thank you, Mahesh. Thank you, Dan. Oh. So it's so wonderful to be here with you today. Today's our community meeting. So right after service, we'll be having a time together to talk about where we're headed as a community. I hope everyone that's here is able to stay on. And those of you who are online, be prepared to, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, be prepared to switch over to the Zoom link. And I'll tell you a little bit more about how to get to that at announcements. But today, you know, we're already in the middle of August. It's just click, 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 isn't it? I don't know about you, but that's my experience right now. Is time's just flying. And so as we have spent a couple of weeks, a couple of Sundays already on this theme of a pause for guidance, we've talked about, well, we started out the first week with a time for tune-up. And so we said basically that we need to tune up from the neck up, right? That's a saying around here at Ahiah. And so when we do that, we get in tune with Spirit. We allow Spirit to move through us and as us. And one of the things that we said during that talk was we said, you know, if you don't want to become an old dog, you know, then you need to follow this guy's advice. And he says that the quickest way to become an old dog is to stop learning new tricks. And so we want to keep learning those new tricks. We want to keep expanding our horizons. And then last week, it was a playful pause. And if you were here or tuned in last week, we had Patricia Roach. And we were just kind of being playful last week. And we had a quote from last week by a guy named Charlie Peacock. And if you take creativity on this, we kind of switched it to playfulness. And it goes then, it's not just about playfulness, it's about the person you're becoming while you're playing. Right? That's what we want to do, is we want to play through life, and we want to see how to be that playful person. I talked about being the dog and chasing the butterfly. And butterfly, of course, is spirit, and so we're just chasing that spiritual butterfly, and as we can do that in our lives, you know, our life becomes playful, our life becomes abundant in that way. So I'm just going to take a little pause for guidance. I'm going to ask Reverend Mike to come up and share with us a little bit about what he knows about a pause for guidance.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rev.
You're welcome.
Good morning again, family. I'd like to take this time to just acknowledge and welcome anybody who might be new here for the first time or coming back after an extended time away. Welcome home, I'd like to say. And our topic this month is Pause for Guidance. And today's theme is Sparking Imagination. And I struggled with that one. And I think last night, Mother Mary came to me, whispering words of wisdom. She said, just let it be, baby. I got you. And so I've been setting my alarm with different types of music. There's one day of the week, I listen to a Satamo Ma, which is a Hindu song. And over the weekends, I listen to Mahalia Jackson, How I Got Over. And that song has a tremendous significance to me because it was 1963. I was 9 years old. I'm telling my age. It's out. I was 9 years old. It's still, to me, unbelievable that we as black people did not have civil rights at that time. But that was the truth. And she sang this song in front of 250,000 people. And I was a little Catholic boy, a little altar boy. And so it was a mortal sin for me to go to another church outside the Catholic Church to even, get that spark when I heard Mahalia sing. But I couldn't help myself, Mahalia lived in my neighborhood, and when she sang, I got what the old folks used to call the Holy Ghost. I got the Spirit. Something moved in me, And this morning, when I was in, the waking state in between fully awakening, like you first wake up, you don't even know who you are, right? Just in the little twilight, my alarm came on, and I heard Mahalia singing. Early this morning, God sent his angels, and God said, touch her in my name. God said, touch her in my name. And when I heard that phrase, it occurred to me that imagination is the angel thought of God touching me. I'm going to say that again. That imagination is the angel thought of God touching me. In the Aramaic, an angel is a thought of God. So when the angel appeared to Moses, when the angel appeared to the prophets, it was a thought of God touching them. And as we look around, we can ascertain that like everything is an angel thought of God. It sparks from someone's imagination. The fact that we are now speaking, transmitting through space and time, who knows, 50 years from now, somebody might be watching this recording because of the imagination of someone who created bits and bytes and said, hey, let's make an internet, and right, and on and on and on. Even each one of us is an angel thought of God. Because angels can not only be thoughts, but can be personalities, circumstances, conditions, ideas that overrule all other ideas. Now, in the Centers for Spiritual Living, we're up to something. We have an idea that came from the divine. And this idea is bold, it is bodacious, that we could create a world that works for everyone with no one left out. What an idea, a thought from the divine. And you know, these angel thoughts are constantly being transmitted because, you know, the divine doesn't sleep. God doesn't need rest. So, you know, he's got the Cosmic Coordinating Committee, you know, constantly sending out these divine angel thoughts to us. But sometimes there's interference. No, there's interference. Because our thoughts are like little radio stations, you know, like we are broadcasting energy, and there's a whole lot of thoughts out there that are thoughts about I'm upset because. Whole lot of folks upset because, you name it, whatever it is. You got folks upset because of civil rights. You got folks upset about the Civil War. Like, really, for reals, right? So people are upset about a lot of stuff, and those thoughts are energetic. And so it's important for me, and by extension you, because there's only one of us here, it's important for me to watch my thoughts. On my computer, I have a thing called a firewall. And the firewall keeps the evil hackers from sending stuff into my network that I don't want there. I have to have a firewall right here. Because sometimes it bypasses the mind, but when it reaches the heart, I can discern, does it feel right? Does this feel like an angel thought of God? Or does this feel like something somebody made up in their basement trying to break into my network? So I'm so grateful for these angel thoughts of God. I'm so grateful that we are all on the same wavelength, that we know how powerful our thoughts are. It's why we came here. And when I walked in this door, I knew that I had found my tribe. People who thought like me, who felt like me, who knew like me, that the angel thoughts of God are always broadcasting through me, as me, for me. I just want to say thank you, Mahalia Jackson. I want to thank all of you for being here and being in agreement. Yes, and so it is. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you. And thank you, Mother Mary, for waking up this morning, giving him something to talk about. Oh, are we having fun today? I'm having fun.
Yes.
I don't know, Harris, how's our sound doing back there? Are we doing any better?
It's all right.
It's all right. All right, well then we will persevere. We'll go on and we will we'll work on fixing that. We'll take a few minutes break between the service and the Zoom meeting afterwards, see if we can get that all back to normal. But for right now, we'll go ahead and, you know, today's talk title, as Reverend Mike has mentioned, is Sparking Imagination. And when we spark that imagination, we get a bonfire, don't we? We get a bonfire. And that's where we want to be coming from with our life, is having a bonfire. And, you know, the thing about our philosophy is we call it New Thought. And we call it New Thought for a particular reason. There's kind of a family of philosophies that all live under this one umbrella called New Thought, because what we all believe at the very core of the universe is a process we call the creative process. And it's just the process where what we think, what we feel, what we intend, all that our thoughts are, not just our conscious thoughts, but our subconscious thoughts, They go into the one mind that we all share, and then it's reflected back to us. Ernest Holmes, our founder, he says it like this: life is like a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it. So it's what we think into it that reflects back to us, which is why our imagination is so important then. Right? Our imagination, it fuels our thoughts. It allows us to believe something that we've never believed before. It allows us to change directions when we feel confused or hurt or less than. We get to imagine something new. And so, the problem is oftentimes we get into these situations, of life. Life happens. Happens all the time, right? And it's good, because I'd rather having life happening than not happening. But sometimes life happens in a way that I'm not absolutely comfortable with. And the problem is I can get stuck there when I can't think of a way out, when I can't see myself on the other side, because if I don't believe I'm going to get to the other side, then Spirit just reflects that right back at me again. I won't. Right? It's done to us as we believe. So I'm going to start talking about this. We're going to use a metaphor of a campfire today to talk about this. And to light a campfire, I go camping a lot. Well, I used to. I haven't been for a while, but I used to go camping all the time. Gabriel and I had a 69 Mercury Marquis convertible. It had a 10-foot trunk on it. You could fit everything that you needed for camping in that trunk. And so we would go car camping. And, when I would pack to get ready to go car camping, I would always make sure I had a lighter, and newspaper. I can buy the wood anywhere, but a lighter and newspaper were kind of important. But that's not the only way to do it. That's the easy way to do it. How many of you have tried the Boy Scout method of starting a campfire, right? Yeah, it's a little bit of tinder, and it's something to spark it with, right? And, I tried it once. Now, I have to admit I kind of cheated, because I tried it by buying this survival kit. It was a cool survival kit. I got it years ago. It was, it had a radio in it that you wound, and then to start a fire, it had this thing, not that thing, it had this thing. It was a magnesium, core, and then you struck it with a piece of steel, and you got sparks like you wouldn't believe. Now that was so much more preferable, because I started it in my fireplace, right? I cheated a little bit there too, made it easy. Here was a fireplace, put some stuff together, sparked it up, everything was great, no problem. But this here, this is the way that the caveman did it, right? Got a piece of stick, and you do it like this forever, or they got a little advanced at one point. They got a bow that they could, do it like this, made it a little easier. But it's still kind of hard, because you got to get that bottom piece of wood so hot that it flames. That's the hard way of doing it. And, I think when we look at this image, I'd rather have the sparky thing, wouldn't you? We're going to go back to that one. I'd rather have that. And when we have that sparky thing, down at the bottom of this picture is a thing called tinder, T-I-N-D-E-R. And it's just something, anything that will burn really easily. Down here, this is wood shavings. If you take a piece of wood and you take a knife to it and you get your cutting so thin that it curls up on itself, that's wood shavings. That'll burn easy. But if you really want to amp it up, go get a cotton ball. That thing will burst into flame like nothing. So, I would rather have the sparky thing. I'd like to have 10, cotton balls. I want to make it easy for myself. But the problem is that, sometimes we don't come prepared. We forget the matches and the lighter and all the good things. And sometimes maybe we just forget the tinder. If you don't have tinder or your tinder is wet, ain't gonna work, right? So if you're missing either one of these things, it's not gonna work. So what we want is strong sparks and we want dry tinder. And so I'm going to talk about those two pieces. Let's start out with the sparks for a second. The question is what are we going to use to start that conflagration I was talking about, that bonfire that's going to be the light that just fills the world? What is it that we're going to use? Well, if we use the little, old-fashioned caveman thing, then what we're really using in our own physiology is we're using our lizard brain, right? Our brain is made up of layers of evolutionary things, and one aspect of it goes all the way back to the lizards, and one of the little pieces of that brain is called the amygdala. I'm not going to put that on a test or anything. You don't need to know how to spell it. But what you need to know is there's a part of your brain that's in charge of the flight or fight response. And its job is to sit there and go, do I know this? Do I recognize this? Is this something that's dangerous? Is this something I don't like? Is this something that we should fight or flight? I don't know. I'm a suspicious type. I'm going to sit here and look. Right? And that aspect of our brain, thank God it works because, it keeps us from, walking in front of the bus on the, on the street and everything. So it's a good thing to have, but it's not a good thing if we let it run our lives. And many, many people in this world right now, that's what they're doing. They're using the caveman approach to living their lives. They're allowing the amygdala to just keep them at high stress all the time, because it will. Life, is full of surprises, and every one of those surprises the amygdala is not going to like. So what do we do about that? What we do is we let that be. We go to a different method. But there is another thing that our amygdala does, which is it likes certain things. It's also positive. It likes things that are familiar. So, if you're walking down the street and you have a sudden smell, and that smell is from a restaurant, and that food that the restaurant's serving reminds you of the favorite dish that your mother made, all of a sudden you're sparked. And it's not a flight or fight. This is sparking your imagination or memory of one of your favorite things, and life is good. Or maybe you're driving down the freeway and you're listening to the radio, and all of a sudden that song comes on. The song from your first love. It was our song. Isn't that beautiful? And it just takes us into these flights of fantasy of, how we were when we were young and in love. And those are good things, but the problem with both of these types of amygdala responses is they bring things to our imagination which we've already done. Right? If it's bad, I tell you, we've done the flight or fight thing 1,000 million times. Or even if it's good, it's a relived history of what we've already done. So what we want to do then is we want to let spirit spark us. Because spirit is always new. You recognize that, right? Spirit always brings something new into our life. And that's one of the ways to tell if you're sparked and you think is this me or is this spirit? Well, if it's something you've already done, it's not you. Right? It is you. It's not spirit. So we're going to do things like meditations, which are going to quiet our minds, allow us to listen to spirit. We're going to go for walks, which is my favorite thing lately, to do. And so if I walk long enough, I just get quiet and I hear spirit. It's all good stuff. And it sparks our imagination. It sparks the tinder that is ready to burst into flame. And so our tinder is actually the imagination, then, in this analogy. Our tinder is dry, we hope. It's all ready to go. And our imagination then drives this creative process. Even Albert Einstein knew this, right? Albert Einstein, what he says is imagination is everything. You can imagine somebody like Albert Einstein would say that. But he goes on to say it is the preview of life's coming attractions. Right? It is. Because our imagination is setting up what we're thinking, what we're believing, what we're feeling. And so that gets reflected back to us. And so we want to allow spirit to spark this and then let our imagination go. Now, if we keep the imagination dry, right, then that spark sets up some flames. How do we keep it dry? We use it. Use your imagination. Actually sit there at home, and for you on the internet right now, just, sit back for a second and go, oh, I'm going to use my imagination. And imagine something, anything. It's practice makes perfect. I tell that to my kids all the time. Even my 34-year-old, I still tell it to them. Right? Practice makes perfect. It's what allows us to move forward with things. And so, now when we let our imagination go, here's the trick. You need to let it go in the forward direction. And by that, I mean don't be looking back behind where you've already been. When I was on the walk the other day with Ganesh, we're down at the park, and it's a regular neighborhood park. It's got, playground and trees and bushes, and he's walking with me, and back behind us, this dog starts barking at him, right? Wants his attention, wants to play. And Ganesh's head, he's got to follow me because I'm walking that way and I got the leash, right? And when I'm down at the park, because there's so many people there, he's on a pretty short leash, so he's just having to follow me because I'm not stopping. And he turns his neck around so far, I've never seen him turn it quite that far. It's almost like it's a 180. I didn't know he could do it like that. And I know what was in his mind at that moment was imagination, right? He was imagining to himself, what do I do if I go back? Go see that dog over there. What do I get to smell? I know I'll smell something. Well, because his neck is 180 degrees and he's looking back basically in the rearview mirror, he walks directly into a bush. He jumps up 3 feet. It surprises him so much, but that's what we do. That happens to us too. If we're looking backwards instead of forwards, if we allow our imagination to take us into the past, then, we're going to walk into a bush, maybe a tree, maybe off a cliff, I don't know. But what we want to do is we want to keep our eyes straight forward. So the other thing that you got to know about tinder, right? That stuff, that's going to burst into flame with the spark, is that sometimes it's not enough for it to just start flaming. Because you need a hot fire to get everything else burning. So what do you do with it? All right. Who's the Boy Scouts in here? I saw a couple of hands earlier. What do you do with your tinder to get it to really flare hot? You got to blow on it, right? So you got to fan the flames a little bit. What do we do? How do we do that with our imagination? Well, we do it with feelings. We use our feelings to fan the flames of our imagination. And Ernest Holmes, he says this. He says, the creative power responds to feeling more quickly than to any other mental attitude. So we have this idea, it's a spark from spirit. We allow our imagination to start to flow, but now we want it to be powerful. We want it to be creative. We want it to show back to us, be reflected back to us like that mirror that God is. And so we're going to imbue it with extra power by thinking emotions, allowing our emotions to hook to it. What are the emotions that you would want? Right? You don't want fear and anger. What you want is you want love. You want peace. You want joy. And if you hook those emotions to that imagination, whew, you got a blaze coming. Guarantee it. So I think the last question for today is, well, what do we use this process for? What are we going to do with all of this? So now we become powerful creators because we know we're going to take what Spirit gives us, we're going to hook it to our imagination, we're going to blow and fan the flames with our feelings, but for what purpose? Well, I like Oprah Winfrey, and she says this. She says, you have to find what sparks a light in you so that you, in your own way, can illuminate the world. You, in your own way, can illuminate the world. That's beautiful, isn't it? It's saying, go out and be a light unto the world. Go out and shine your particular gift out in the world. I see a couple of people from Foundations, and maybe we have some more online here, teaching Foundations class right now. And one of the things I said to them this last week was we were working on abundance. And you know, with abundance, we're always like, what are we going to get? What are we going to get? That's part of abundance, right? Because we got to get to give. By the way, we have a prosperity program coming up in a couple of months where we're going to be talking a lot more about abundance. But, you know, just real quickly, this thing from Foundations, what I asked them in the class is, the world, you know, think about this statement. What does it mean to you? The world was not given to me. I was given to the world. The world was not given to me. I was given to the world. That's like what Oprah is telling us. That we are a light in the world. And that all our job is to shine our light. Our light. Not somebody else's light. What is the gift that I have, that I'm bringing to the world? Recognize it, know it, live it. Allow Spirit to spark that gift. Allow that gift to just make your imagination go wild. And when you are a bonfire, now you will have come here to be who you have come here to be. So, I could talk about this all day. I could even ask Rev. I bet you he could come back up here and talk some more. But you know, we have a community meeting going on after this, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up with giving you an affirmation. It's showing on your screen right now, and on this one too. So let's go ahead and say that one together. My imagination grows my consciousness and expands my life now. Let's say that again. My imagination grows my consciousness and expands my life now. So as you go out into your week this week, think about what is sparking your imagination. Now, Linda White, if you're watching on the screen here, I put this line in specifically for you. We had a meeting this week, and she gave me some feedback. She said, can you give me, a one-liner to use? I'm like, well, I'll give it a try. So today's one-liner is this. Let spirit be your spark, right? Let spirit be your spark. Take that out into your week with you. And if there's anything that you're confused about, just let Spirit guide you. Thank you, and namaste. So let's just anchor some of this in with a brief prayer. And so I invite you to turn within with me to that place inside that knows that it knows that it knows. And as I drop inside for myself, I know and I recognize that place that I go to that is the one life. It is my soul. It is that part of me that is immortal. It's the part of me that lies open to the infinite. It's the part of me that is the exact same thing that God is. It is the love and the peace and the joy. It is whole, perfect, and complete. It has never, ever known anything but the divine. And that soul within me that is me, at the very depth of me, what I know is that it is the life of abundance, the life of love, the life of peace, the life of joy. It is the bonfire that has come here to illuminate the world. And from that place of knowingness that I speak my word as the truth of me, it's the truth of you, it's the truth of everyone that's watching here today, and it's the truth of everybody in the world. It does not matter if you know it or you don't know it. We are all whole, perfect, and complete. That's the truth of us. And when we know that more fully, it's easy for us to create from that place. When we know it more fully in our lives, life and God are always just saying yes. And so it says yes to a higher purpose, a higher love, a higher peace, a higher joy. And that then is reflected into our life. And I just know that process to be divine. I know each one of us to be divine. And so I just give thanks for that knowingness. I give thanks for knowing that truth as my life, as your life, as all life. And I release this prayer to the law, knowing that it's already fulfilled in the mind that God is. And I say life and God are good and very good. And together we say, and so it is. Amen and amen. So now's the time for a conscious contribution. And I know that for many of us, even the ones here today, many of us are doing our contributions now online. And for those of you at home, I know we have many people who have signed up for auto tithing. Don't have to do anything. But if you haven't contributed, and you want to do a conscious contribution to this center, where everything that you give will go towards our mission, this purpose of what we do on this Sunday service, uplift people. And through the week, we do similar things, the Tuesday book study, the Wednesday healing circle, our classes, other activities and events that we do. Your donations go to that. And so there are 3 ways for you to give. You can go to ahiah.com/donate. You can text to give at 616, not 626, 616-229-2225. Or you can always mail a check in. And by the way, thank you for those of you who send me little love notes. I really appreciate that. I really do. It lifts my day on Tuesday. We open all the money and do that, and it makes for a great day. And so if, for all of us, oh, and if you're here and you want to write a check or give cash, there's envelopes in the pews, and after service, we'll have collection baskets available. And so let's go ahead and do our blessing of this. So take whatever you've given or whatever you're to give and bring it to your heart and just say along with me, this gift I give is God in action. I send it forth with joy, confidence, and ease. I am blessed by the law of giving and receiving as I now share my gift with life. Press down, shake together, and run it over. And so it is. Amen. Amen. And so now I'm going to ask Clark and the musicians, come on back up. Give us another song.
All right. So this is up tune. So if you want to get up, start dancing, you're more than welcome to. Okay, we have fun with this. Make a joyful noises to the Lord, right? Yeah. All right. Here we go.
I enjoyed that. So, I want to remind you, we have a load of practitioners here. These are people who in other faiths might be called a lay minister. They've been trained. They know how to support you, and most specifically, they know how to support you in prayer. And so if you need a practitioner, one way of getting direct contact is go to our website. They have contact information there. You can talk to one specifically. If you want to have just a general prayer, you can go to ahiah.com/prayers, and there's a prayer request there. Only practitioners or ministers see those requests, so it's purely confidential. It's a great way to do it. If you are here for service, we have prayer requests. Reverend Mike, can you show them one of those?
Yes,
Have one? Yeah. And there's a box right back there where Brother Troy is. The box on the table over there. And you just put that in there, and we will make sure that prayer gets done for you. So we are a community of praise because we know that prayer works, right? Yeah, absolutely it does. Oh, you also have a method of hearing a prayer. We change this up every week. You can go to ahiah.com and find under prayers the dial a prayer, and it'll give you a quick reading and a prayer. So, let's start that over again so Harris and I are in sync. So we have an announcement about the Women's Circle coming next. You ready, Harris? Okay, there we go.
Good morning, women of Ahiah. This Friday, August 20th, join us on Zoom for a celebration of female singers and songwriters. Need more info? See Friday's newsletter. See you this Friday in Ahiah Zoom room.
Okay. And so if you want to send Joan some song requests, on your program is her email address, and you can send her the songs that you want to hear this Friday night, and then she'll get back to you on those. We also have Creating the Beloved Community. We're in August. This will be the 9th of our meetings. We have been working this every month, and I am so blessed so many people show up for that. We're working the hard issue, right, which is racism in America right now. We will eventually go on to some other issues, but right now we're working this, and I would love for each and every one of you to be there. It's Monday night at 7 p.m. in our Zoom room. Go to ahiah.com/virtual. And Reverend Mike here is our fearless leader on this topic, but it's Marcia and myself and Reverend Mike and Kelly Metcalf that are putting this all together. And we're, we've learned a little bit in the last 8 times or so. And what we're working now is how to release the trauma from our bodies, and it's powerful. Come on down. We'll love to have you there. And then we do have a drawing. The drawing is, I believe it's on your program too. So just call Marcia or Annette if you want tickets. $10 gets you 1 ticket, $20 gets you 3 tickets, and we'll be having the drawing out in October. And then, and it goes to serve a good cause, which is to create events here for Ahiah. So all the money that comes in will be going back out for us to play together in different ways. It'll be great. And then join us right here. If you're here, don't go anywhere if you're already here. If you're online, if you are in the Zoom room, you can stay there. If you're not in the Zoom room, if you're in Facebook or on YouTube, then go to ahiah.com/virtual and hit the Go to Zoom button, and that will take you to the Zoom room because we're just doing this from Zoom today. And so we'll be doing Zoom here. We're going to be talking about where we've been so far this year, 2021. We're already past halfway mark, so we're going to give you some info on how we've done for the halfway mark. We're actually doing really well. And that's really good news. But we'll tell you more about that in the community meeting. But we're going to talk about where we're headed. And we're going to talk about the vision of Ahiah. And one of the pieces of the vision that we're going to talk about specifically this time is youth and family ministry. I would love for you guys to be here, love for you to see what we're going to do and get aboard with the energy that's being created. It's wonderful. So, what time are we at? Oh, we're running a little bit late. Oh, I better get going. So let's go ahead, do the invocation, or the benediction, I mean. So you can say it with me. It's right here on the screen. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all my affairs. I accept it. I am it, and I share it. Just the way it appears, and just the way it appears not. Thank you, life. Amen and amen. So, thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being online. And we're going to take just a few minutes to maybe reboot the computer, try a couple of things, make sure we can see if we can get the sound going for the people online again. We'll be right back. If you're on Zoom, stick around on there. If you're not, go ahead and get called into Zoom.
I think.